Oh, alright, what is up, YouTube Boxing family? It's K right here, back with another good, hold on. I'm back with another good video for y'all today. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. I have a little bit to talk about, and I wanted to talk about this, one fighter by the name of Jousce Gonzales. This was, supposed to be more of the roasting session that I was supposed to downplay on his victory, and he's not a bad fighter. I don't really have any beef with him, but I will say with Jousce Gonzales, he's not the greatest fighter out there, and I think based off of what he does with his career, it's only going to be determined by a couple of factors. If he's able to take on the tough competition, and he's able to do the things that he needs to do to be victorious. For me, I'm a very tough, critic, when it comes to boxing. People may say, that's just called hatred, but at the end of the day, it's really not. It's just that, you don't see anything spectacular out of a fighter that doesn't really fight, the high level competition, and you don't put yourself in position to be recognized in your division. See now, knowing that this Golden Boy card wasn't as good as I really thought it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I think the biggest problem with Golden Boy fights is that a lot of these fights are really, mismatch. You really see a bunch of weird one-sided matchups, and they're obviously doing it just to promote their fighter, just to give them a easy victory and an easy bag. So, they don't have to be working their butt off just to get beat up, by actual tough level opposition. But in Jousse's case, he hasn't really been keeping himself in the loop with tough opposition. Just by looking at the records that he's been fighting, his best victories were against, his last fight with Jose Angulo. He was 14-2. Jairo Lopez, I didn't I never really cared about him, but he's not as good as people try to make him out to be. So, I don't really consider that to be a good victory. His other fight with Miguel Angel Mendoza, that was a decent fight from what I heard, but either way, looking at the level of opposition, I don't really see Jousce really making it that far. Not just because he hasn't fought any killers yet. It's just that, we can easily tell that, the way he's been moving in the division, that being super lightweight, I don't see him really making any moves. I think plenty of fighters would beat the living crap out of him. But I'm just gonna respond to his comment that he said the other day, which was very interesting. He said he wants everybody at 135. See now, from what I can tell, is that Jousce, he's not a lightweight. He is a natural super welterweight or a welterweight type of fighter. Um, I think based off of how much he's grown in his career, you can easily tell based off of his recent fights. He has never really gone anywhere, below 135. Yeah, he did fight at 130, and that was years ago. But if you look at his 135 quote unquote days, yeah, he was able to make the weight years ago. But now we're talking about everything that is happening now. Within the last year of 2021, he moved up to 140, and he couldn't make the weight for that. That was 140 and 3/4. And then his last two fights, he was fighting at he did make weight for 135, but then he just bumps all the way back up to 140 once again. So yeah, I don't really think the 135 version would be any better for him. I think Lopez, or no, not Lopez. I think Jousce Gonzales, he has a better chance of doing more damage at 140, and I think it's just due to the fact that the state of the divisions are more comparable depending on where you fight. But for Jousse's case, I can understand why he wants to fight at 135. But here's what the problem. You're with Golden Boy, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't ever see Oscar De La Hoya matching you up with like tough ass competition, especially PBC. And I just think where PBC is at right now, the belts are basically going to be held up by the PBC opposition, and I don't know. I think based off of the political standpoint, Jousce, he has a better shot of going after belts at 140 rather than 135. Like, I don't know what his goal really is, in boxing per se. Does he want to become a multiple time, divisional, like a multiple time or multi-division world champion? I don't really know, but what I will say, just based off of his last performance against Jose Angulo, I wasn't really impressed. I think Jousce understands where his spot is, in boxing, but it's like, if you're gonna go down to 135, let's just take a look at the division. There are too many killers in that division, and he is ranked 212, at 140 if I'm not mistaken. But still, if you look at the top 50, you have Jermaine Ortiz, you have Javier Fortuna, which I think Fortuna would be a perfect style matchup for him to just get into the division or get into the high rollers. And if you could beat a guy like him, then you can go after a guy like, see, this is the hard part, because you really don't know, what's going to happen, out of these fights. But based off of what we could see here, I think Jousse's best opponents that he could potentially beat would be a guy like he could beat Tego, he could beat Emmanuel Tego. Tego's fucking garbage. He could beat maybe Angel Fierro, but that's a very difficult fight because Angel, he's a dog and he's a killer. But I think based off of what he had with Juan Carlos Burgos, that wasn't a good look on him. So I think if Jousce wants to go back down to 135 and conquer more names, maybe go after a guy like Angel Fierro, because he only had a good victory against Alberto Machado, but then that's it. Like, he lost to Alex Martin, that dominated him. He did his thing, but still, it's just like, you could easily tell, like, based off of the performance level of some of these like top 50 fighters, like, not all of them are that good. And I will say, like, the only killers that I see taking over 135 in the lightweight division would be Andres Cortez, Frank Martin, Jezero Corrales. He's going to be fighting Jose Valenzuela, but still, even if he were to lose to Valenzuela, which I see that happening, Corrales, he could be a high roller veteran. Definitely Michelle Rivera, Ricardo Nunez. They're gonna make a lot of fucking noise. Mark my words. And I'll probably say Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz is good, and Jojo Diaz. I don't even know what's happening with Jojo Diaz. He hasn't been back in the ring since December. But if he ever does wish to come back into the boxing world or the boxing mix, I think he'll be he'll be a very good competitive test for a lot of fighters, and he could very well upset a lot of names. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, yeah, he's gonna be good, and maybe Gustavo Lemos. I haven't really seen too much film out of him, but he's kind of been moving a bit funny in the division. He obviously had a good victory over who did he fight recently? I know that he fought. He fought Lee Selby, but that was pretty much it. He's, I don't really view him to be that good of a fighter yet, but I mean, I think based off of where he's going and his career, I think he's gonna get moved carefully. He's not gonna be fed off to the lion's den. But yeah, that's pretty much like your. That's pretty much like your next lineup of fighters that will take over, the 135 division. The biggest issue that I have with Jousce Gonzales, as far as weaknesses go, is that he's extremely flat-footed. I don't really think he's as good as he kind of gets hyped up to be. Um, I think that the biggest issue with him is that he leaves himself wide open to get hard countered, and I think every time when Angulo was trying to land that right, which he did a very very good job doing, he started hurting Gonzalez more with the same counter punch that he kept getting battered up with. So now it makes me think that what will Gonzalez do in his next outing? Because if you're struggling to get out of what the get out of the way out of a punch that you should have been trained countless amount of times to block 9 times out of 10, and you're not being you're not being defensively responsible, then I could very well see your ass get knocked out, because I don't think Jousce Gonzales is that good just by looking at how he's how he performed against Angulo. Because yeah, granted, you got a good knockout victory to the body shot, but that's not going to work against every fighter. Some fighters can some fighters don't have the best chins in the world, but some fighters can have the best body shot punch resistance in the world. So I just think, based off of how the wild cards are gonna get played now, I think Golden Boy, they're gonna try to move Jousce very very carefully, and I think that's what's going to happen for his career, because I mean he's 27 years old, so I mean based off of what we're seeing, it's just I don't know, man. I think based off of everything that is happening in the in the boxing divisions in general, I think Jousce, he has a better chance, doing better damage at his natural weight. I think his natural weight is 140. I don't think he would look a lot better at 135, because just by looking at his frame, he's built to be a welterweight type of fighter. See, now, why is the reason that he wants to go back down to 135? I think it's because that he's either doing it because 135 can offer more money to him, which isn't really too much of a good reasoning to do that, because if you really can't make the weight smoothly, in which granted you probably did make the weight well, but on fight night you didn't look like your absolute best. So I just think Jousce, he needs to start focusing more on fighting at his natural weight, because if he did, then all the other fighters would be able to have better performances, if fighters were to fight at their natural weight. But just by looking at the political landscape of how some of these fighters move and shit, I'm just not I'm just not really too impressed out of that. I personally find it to be really bad for their careers, and I don't think a lot of fighters really end up being successful doing that, because you're trying to find the best weight class for you to keep yourself away from the dangerous level opposition. And I'm gonna be making making a video soon about weight bullies, because I don't believe in weight bullies in boxing, but I do believe in how should I say, I do believe in weight cowards. That's basically how I call them. They're able to make the weight in what they want to do, but we all know in actual reality, if they fought at their bigger weight, they probably end up being knocked out. And I think that's really the biggest problem with boxing. A lot of fighters don't want to fight at their natural weight class, because they know what the issue is going to be when they do get hurt by a actual puncher that actually is ready to knock you out, or to even just hurt you and dominate you. So I don't know, man. I personally just think that's really the state of how boxing is being run right now. A lot of fighters just don't want to move up in weight, and they're cowards. They're weight cowards. Weight bullies can't really exist though, because it's you make the weight fine, but still, if you're not able to make the weight, but you're still trying to struggle yourself back into it, then that's being a weight coward, not being a weight bully. But I'll talk about that in another video because that's a very interesting topic where I could get a lot of controversy, built up for it. So I'll be able to do what I have to do, and yeah, I'll just move on with that. But yeah, for Jousce Gonzalez' career, I don't see him moving that far. Even if he wants to go back down to lightweight, I don't think he's that good of a fighter. I think Jousce he has such a weird like fighting style, which I don't think his fighting style would really scale well against all the other top lightweights. I think Frank Martin, he's gonna see that fighting. He's gonna see his punches and bunches from a mile away, where Frank Martin, he's just going to eat Jousce alive. And I think the minute he crushes him with a good ass right or a good ass left to the body, I think Jousce, he gets knocked out really really bad. I don't think he's that good, handling the inside body pocket fighting. Probably same thing with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I think Pitbull would brutally stop him. Jousce has a good puncher stance to actually hurt somebody, but when we talk about boxing and actual ring IQ type of level fighting, I don't see him scaling well with a guy like Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Jose Valenzuela. He'll fucking annihilate him. He'll make his career literally go absolutely down the drain. Michelle Rivera will definitely outbox him, and he'll very well end up stopping him. He has insane power himself. Who else? Shit, man. I don't know what other names I could really say that would be a very winnable fight. But I mean, he'll probably be a guy like Rene Guerrón. I think Rene Guerrón, he has a very good chance of beating him, but even with his size and his power advantages at times, I think that fight of its own is kind of like very 50-50. So I'm not too sure of like where I could really see that fight scale, but looking at the division, we have plenty of good names here. And oh wait, Ricky Burns, he's still fighting? What? This nigga Ricky Burns is still fighting? How is he still fighting? Are you kidding me? Wow, Ricky Burns is still fighting in boxing. That's not good. But yeah, I think his best chance of victory would probably be against a guy like I'd probably say Rolando Romero. I think Rolly would be that type of dude where he'll be stupid enough to kind of leave himself wide open. And I think Jousce, if he moves his head if he moves his head around more, then I think he could be very successful. But yeah, I'm not too sure how everything will probably play out with that. Yeah, definitely he could beat Javier Fortuna. He might be able to beat Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares is definitely one of the biggest punchers in the lightweight division. But then after that, it's like I don't really see any of these guys really having a chance to beat Jousce Gonzales. I think Gonzales, he's good at beating anybody in the bottom 50, but well, yeah, bottom 50, but moving forward to like the high level, like the Andres Cortezes of the world, and maybe a Jezreel Corrales, and maybe a Javier Fortuna, and then the rest of these guys would just eat him up. Nakafila would beat his ass, but I'm just not sold on him, man. I need to see more out of him. He needs to show to me if he's actually really ready, for the high level. But I mean, hey, if he wants to get fed off to the lions, I think a perfect opponent for him would be Giovanni Cabrera. I think Cabrera would, easily get knocked out by him, because Cabrera, he leaves his chin wide open and he gets hit, pretty flush and pretty easily. So, yeah, I'm not too sure, man. I think based off of what we're seeing right now, it's it seems kind of rather null and void to really be putting all these weird prediction hats on certain fights where we don't know how they're going to play out. But based off of what we're seeing out of the style out of Jousce Gonzales, I just don't see his style really making it that far. But hey, if he could prove it wrong to me, please fight all these names. Shit, I'd like to see him and Keyshawn Davis fight each other. That's a good ass fight, of its own too. But if he can knock out Keyshawn Davis and beat him, good, do it. I think he can do it, but he needs to actually show it to me if he's willing to do it. And I'm pretty sure Golden Boy and Top Rank, they could work that out. They could easily make that fight. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I don't have really that much else to really talk about. I'll probably talk about the Keith Thurman bullshit, and then I'll talk about why weight bullies don't exist, and then as far as all the sports interviews go, I was supposed to have Tito Mercado on, and he told me that he wasn't able to get my email, and he said I guess he was up inside of the mountains and he wasn't able to get it. So hopefully in the future, I'm trying to get him on my channel so that way me and him we could chop it up one day, and then after that I'll probably just move forward with myself. I'm not the type of dude to be desperate for sports interviews because I was never really like that. I just thought hey, it might be good if I have these certain athletes on my channel, and I'm just not that type of guy to really do that anymore now. And once in a while here and there, I'll have somebody on. But if I ever do have a way bigger following, which I very well will because my channel is constantly growing fast, I think eventually all the bigger names will start reaching out, and then other known fighters from certain gyms, they'll very well do the same too. But yeah, me and Tito, we should get it going very soon. Me and Chenard, hopefully, and then who else? The Valle brothers, Marcus and Dominic. I gotta text Dominic, after this video, but I'll text him later on in the day, just to follow up with them, and I'll give him a call, just to let him know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'll see you guys later. Salute to the mighty LDBC, and yeah, man, I'm out. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a great day. Bye.